Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris and I just got done watching Men in Black International. With Men in Black International, it is the fourth installment in the Men in Black series. This is canon with all the previous films. Following along Molly, who is someone pursuing the Men in Black after an encounter with them as a child. Once finally coming in contact with them, she will try and prove her worth as a Men in Black. And that's all pretty much it without giving any spoilers to you guys. This is a spoiler-free review. Now, with the Men in Black series, I do enjoy the first movie. I think there's a real awe-wonder, fun, and pretty captivating flavor to that movie. A secret service of agents who hunt down aliens. But admittedly, the movie started to tee off from there, but when hearing that we got a reboot with director F. Gary Gray, a man who's made movies like Straight Outta Compton and Fast and Furious 8, that sounds like a mix for a good movie. But honestly, with the Men in Black movies, I don't think anything will ever be as good as that first film. Let me go into some of the positives. Of course, Chris Hemsworth. He's a man who's as good as a comedian as he is an action star. The man is able to deliver some of the funny lines in this film, along with some quick, cool action scenes. Pair that up though with the chemistry of Molly, or Agent M in this movie, played by Tessa Thompson, and you have a nice duo that you'd be willing to watch fight these aliens. But if we're really talking about someone who stole the show, it is the little alien Pawnee. He's voiced by Kumail Nanjiani, and lending his voice to this little space alien had me cracking up every time he was on screen. Really adorable, and I think we'll have a lot of people wanting more of his character throughout the movie. Now, when we talk about the surroundings and the look of the film, director F. Gary Gray did a good job of making this movie feel like the previous Men in Black movies. You can really tell that these are canon, it's the same world, it doesn't feel out of place. It keeps up with the same themes. I love that they keep the same music from the previous movies. As far as the title sequence and certain fonts, definitely respectable in that manner of everything that's happened previously. But before really getting down to why this movie isn't as amazing or as fun as I would have liked it to have been, I want to say it's a perfectly fine movie. If you're actually a fan of any of the previous Men in Black movies, you're gonna get a kick out of this one. You're gonna have a good time, but don't expect anything better than the last two Men in Black movies because it's up to par with those two. When we talk about the negatives for the film, however, it just does come off sort of dull. There's really no magic to it. There's nothing that's really keeping you completely invested. If we go into specifically why, for one, the character of Molly, Agent M, well, I think Tessa Thompson does a fine job. The movie writes her character kind of funny. The smart thing that they did in the first Men in Black movie where they had Will Smith's character be the new guy, so it made sense why all throughout that movie there was constant exposition explaining how the world works, their technology, why they're doing stuff. But they make Agent M's character extremely intelligent in this movie to the point that you're like, you just got accepted into this world. How do you know more than the people around you? And it takes away that magic of explaining what's been going on in the last year since we haven't seen a Men in Black movie. There's times in this movie where Agent M explains stuff to Chris Hemsworth's character, who is a veteran in the Men in Black and should know this stuff, but yet he's learning all this new information from the new person who barely started about a few days ago. Jumping to Chris Hemsworth's character, there is this mystery going on with him. All throughout the movie, you're being told, why are you different? What's wrong with you? Something's changed. All this happened to you way back. They are constantly hinting at it in the movie, and I'm not going to spoil it, even though there's really nothing to spoil. You don't get closure to what that is that caused him to change. Almost every character he interacts with, people tell him you're different. You're not the same person you used to be, and we're all waiting for some big revelation or some big reveal, finding out what happened to Chris Hemsworth 3 years ago that made him a different person. But honestly, the movie never really directly addresses it. The only thing I can think of that would address his character change is one line that they threw away in a pretty dull scene that if you weren't really paying attention, you would have missed it. And minor gripe that might be a big one to other people, it's lost its magic in the sense of practical effects. If you go back to that first Men in Black movie, it still holds up because most of the effects there are practical. Some of the little aliens that walk around, those are actual latex prosthetics, or other fumbling creatures that probably could have been easily done in CGI were constructed and made, and it just made the movie feel a lot more tangible. But in this one, almost everything is CGI, and while they do some good work here and there, they abuse it to the point where they just make anything possible. Their weapons can do this, they have cars that can do that, they have built-in tunnels and subways that can just do whatever they want, where it's like, okay, you created a world now where technology, anything is possible, so then nothing you're showing me is amazing me or making me think, whoa, that's cool. Instead, I'm thinking, oh, a coffee machine that's also a time machine? Oh, a pencil that can shoot you up into space? Why not? It gets to that point. None of that stuff is actually in the movie, but if it was, you wouldn't be surprised because it's like, oh, they've already done so much, so I guess why not? Men in Black International was a nice attempt at reviving a franchise, but I don't think it'll go on any further from here. In fact, I don't think we'll see the Men in Black for a very long time. I came out rather underwhelmed, not really disappointed. I still laughed. I still had a good time. It was good seeing Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson interact and fight some aliens. But in the end, you're left wanting more after this movie's over. Alright, so for Men in Black International, I'm gonna give action 2.5 stars. There are quite a bit of action scenes in here. Chris Hemsworth fighting hand to hand, but a lot of it is just basic combat that really won't wow you. Comedy in the film, I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. That's mainly to Chris Hemsworth and Kumail Nanjiani's character Pawnee. They'll have you laughing most of the time, but there's not enough to go around to really keep you all that entertained. Drama in the film, I'm gonna give it 2 stars because I think this is one of the sloppiest stories done in a Men in Black movie. They try and pull in some lore and make this seem like a real epic, dangerous situation, but in the end, the movie feels rather small scale. Horror in the film, I'm gonna give no stars to. Surprisingly, with a movie with aliens, nothing of them really had any scary designs. If anything, a lot of them were sort of Disney-fied, where they look cute and cuddly. And suspense of film, I'm gonna give 1.5 stars. There were really no moments in here where I was on the edge of my feet thinking, oh, what's gonna happen? What's going on? Honestly, the whole movie, I was waiting for the revelation of what's going on with Chris Hemsworth's character, and it's just not really a good payoff. Casual fans, I'm gonna give it a B+. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it a C+. And critically, I'm going to give it a C-. For Men in Black International, if you are a fan of the previous Men in Black movies, particularly 2 and 3, since it is up to par with them and I saw them in theaters, I suggest you watch this in theaters. But that was just my opinion on it, guys. What would it take for you guys to really be into the Men in Black series? Was it all about Will Smith and him being attached to those movies? To me, it all comes down to the story you're throwing out and the lore you're exploring in this universe. And I think that was just really lacking in this movie. But anyways, guys, if you saw the movie, go ahead and leave your thoughts down below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.